As I mentioned, Tata is an empire. What is the key driver of your digital push?
So it's broader than digital. It's technology with the full scope, right? It's a business which businesses, a group of companies from salt to software. So we have to cover all of it. Digital is one aspect, but materials and energy and factory automation and so many fun technologies to deal with.
Yeah, but given that it's such a diverse series of things that you have to focus on, when you're putting your money into use, R&D, you spent $2.8 billion last year.
That's right.
This year, what will you be spending that on?
So we hope to deploy that $2.8 billion in a more constructive way first. We need to derive the maximum value of the $2.8 billion. It's a good amount of money. And the growth which has been happening is in the 5 to 10% zone. We want to keep that, but we want to derive maximum value of what we are deploying.
Are there specific segments that you're focusing on?
So there are a few technologies which we think are important and important across the group. Energy is one of that. Factories and fleets, we have several, so we want to be the best companies with the factory and fleet programs. We have the digital consumers that we want to make a huge impact on. So these are some of the areas.
You're filing about 2,000 patents every year,
right.
And that's about double the pace from years back.
True.
How and when do you start monetizing them?
We are already monetizing them. These 2,000 patents are being published as we speak, so it'll be a year or two before they're granted even. So you need to have a window of 5 to 20 years to be able to monetize, but really the peak will come 5 to 7 years.
Are you focusing on those patents, on filing more and more on them, on targeting quantity as well as one of your strategies?
Quality is important, but you need to bootstrap. You need to get the quantity up and then the quality up. So that's the journey we are on. So today we are at a place where we are publishing 2,000 patents a year. We need to get to a place where we have 10,000 patents filed and being monetized. And we are halfway there, so we have a journey to complete.
You're the leading company in India, and as such, we have to talk about the Trump administration's immigration restraints. Everything that's going on right now, H-1B visas, including also startup visas being restrained for entrepreneurs, is America's loss India's gain?
So we believe that the business has to be open, and we create greatest value to each of the region that we work in by getting the best qualified people to do each one of the jobs. We have been hiring in different countries that we are operating out of. So we are comfortable where we are, and we are able to execute despite the regulatory aspects, which we have still not seen any major change. So there's a lot of talk in the news, but it is business as usual for us so far.
Are you getting more applicants in high-skilled tech positions just because more people are afraid to go to the U.S. now?
No, the opportunity in the U.S. is typically after they graduate from a program in the U.S. So those applicants are applying in the U.S. and we are happy to hire the best. Mm-hmm. And similarly, we continue to get good applicants in India as well from institutions here which are on par with the rest of the world.
Big news within India, of course, was the whole demonetization push of last year. That led to a huge change in the digitalization of the country itself. How has that affected Tata Sons?
I think it's a good move. What it does for a country is makes it more innovation hungry. So demonetization is one of the steps in the India digital stack. So it started off with the unique ID program. It is the largest database of biometric identified population anywhere in the world. And on top of that, you have elements such as the monetary aspects, the ability, the unified approach to payments. So these are things which are going to take the country only forward.
Let's talk about some of the innovations or changes that are taking the whole digital world forward, and that would be also cloud services. Yeah. And I know that Tata Consultancy is one leading company in that business. With the explosion of cloud services, how is that affecting not only Tata Consultancy, but also the way that Tata Sons does business as it modernizes its tech infrastructure?
So I think we need to think about cloud, but we also need to think about computing on the edge. So this is the combination which is going to be the most powerful as we think about IoT. So you cannot take all the data to the cloud. You need to execute on the edge what you can and then take it to the cloud. So that is the journey that we are on. So along that journey, we have Tata Elxsi, which is on the embedded side of our business, Tata Communications, which is on the communication end, and the data analytics end is TCS. And there are other companies. These are the bigger ones I'm talking about.
Tata Elxsi, good that you mentioned them because they're actually driving the driverless platform. And my question is, given how hectic the roads in India are those technologies going to be mostly for export? I mean, people say you can't have that in India.
So you need to think about it this way, that we have a choice. We have a choice to pick and choose what technologies make sense in different regions. So if level 4 is the completely automated driverless cars, you have several levels on the way. Driver assist is where our focus is, both in India and in Jaguar Land Rover. While we are working on the driverless cars, unlike a digital giant which has to come in from that end, we approach it from a point of we can take incremental step towards that, and that's our success.